Good morning. I'm absolutely sure that when you go regularly to your gym, you see very often people who are moving the weights in a very extremely speedy way. And that's a big problem with nowadays gyms that too many bodybuilders and also just training amateur people uh, are going too quickly. This hyper speed can not only lead to injuries, but also uh, the result can be that they have no good results in their training. The rhythm, the technique, and the pose are three most important parts of a good training. But it is absolutely clear that a slow motion movement doesn't bring a better technique automatically, and a higher speed movement can contain a bad but also a good technique. So it's not a ruler. If we want to obtain the maximum possible muscle growth, not the speed is so much the factor who can influence the progression of our muscles, but the regularity, fluency, and smoothness of the movements. Uh, the smoothness and fluency of the movements is absolutely the most important. In such a way, you control your movement perfectly, everything is under control, everything is safe, but also you feel your muscles and you feel the tension you are bringing to the muscles during your reps. Now, to the technique, you can keep a very good technique of your bench press even if the few inches when you start the movement would be explosive, but the rest of the whole movement is slower, whereby the first few inches can last a fraction of a second, and the remaining press movement will take 3 to 4 seconds. There is a test for a good weight and good movement, which was elaborated in some Eastern European countries, sports centers. It's a test with pause. What does it mean? When you do any exercise in the gym, you must be able to do a pause in your reps, and this pause could be done in any part of your movement. If you do an intense set and you do such pauses by each rep, let's say in the middle of your movement, it will considerably complicate your set, and you will be obliged maybe to diminish the number of your reps. But don't worry, that's just a set. It's not a way how you should train. If in the test, in spite of such pauses, you can continue to control the weight and the movements in a correct way, it shows you that you are working with a good weight, with a correct technique, and if you are not able to do that with a barbell or a dumbbell, such poses are not you are not able to do such poses, or you do them but you lose the control over the bar. It means that you are working maybe too heavy weight and with a not correct technique. Of course, it is not recommended that you strictly count mathematically the seconds, how you move the weight, but there is an orientation ruler called 3 seconds, whereby if you do a bench press, for example, you do 3 seconds in the up movement and 3 seconds when you go down, in the negative part of the movement. There are two ways how to train. The first one is to train without breaking the movement in a very continuous movement during the whole set. and you do the 8 reps or 10 reps, whatever, you do in a very continuous, rather slower movement. There is no stop, no break in your movements. The other system is with breaks. For example, you do a bench press, you do a break in the up position, or if you do a leg press, you do the break also in the up position. I mean, when the legs are nearly straight. These breaks, I personally don't like them because they are taking off the tension, continuous tension of the muscle, but people who prefer to work with higher weights, it can permit them to use the higher weights because the muscle is a little bit reposing in the upper position. One is sure that from exercise to exercise, the time of doing your rep can be different. For example, pull downs to your chest, shoulder presses take more time for doing one movement as, for example, bench press or calf training. In some exercises, you can add a final tension to the muscle. It's not possible by all exercises and by all muscles, but it very consulted that you do that when you do bicep curls, for example, or all pulley movements or leg extensions, that you do this small tension to the muscle at the high position. The most important in any bodybuilding training is that everyone must find, with time, of course, with experience, the best method how to get a continuous tension in the muscles, which leads after your workout to the very pleasant feeling of muscles full of blood. Maybe this is the secret also for the best progression in any bodybuilding workout. But test it and you will see what is your frequency, what is your speed, but try to get always the maximum tension. And when you are beginner, always use the continuous, no stops, no breaks movement. When you are already training 2-3 years and you want to add heavier weights into your training, then you can use these breaks in the high positions. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.